Welcome back to the channel. If you're trying to build credit for a new LLC with bad credit, here are the hacks that you need if you are trying to get a higher Paydex score fast. Step number 1, legitimacy. It's very important. If you are trying to build credit, you need to have a legit business. A lot of single member LLCs and young entrepreneurs, they actually forget that part of the equation. This is very important because the lenders or credit card issuers are going to ask for your EIN, for example, your employer identification number. So make sure that you establish legitimacy by filing for your EIN with the IRS. It doesn't take long. It takes about 5-10 minutes. Okay, you go on the IRS website and you actually input your data, and just make sure that you do everything in one sitting. Okay, because if you go back, you're gonna have to restart the whole thing. So just sit there for 5-10 minutes. You get your EIN, bam, and later on they will send you a formal letter, but at least you can have the EIN right then and there. And think about opening a business bank account. Very important. Okay, so you currently, and don't go far. You want to stay at the same bank where you're currently at, and you just open a business bank account with them. So if you have a personal account, also trying to open a business account. When we talk about establishing legitimacy, you also have to think about state and federal compliance. What does that mean? It means that, let's say you are in a certain industry that is regulated at the state level or federal level. Make sure that whatever licenses and permits they are asking you to have, or they're asking your particular business to have, make sure you have those. Because a net 30 vendor or a business credit card issuer or a business lender might ask for those particular licenses and permits before approving loans or credit cards. Make sure that you have your articles of organization, okay? Because again, this talks about how legit your business is. Make sure you have your registered agent. You don't have to actually hire somebody else, but it is better to hire a registered agent service so that you can segregate your personal affairs from your business affairs. Because the last thing you want is to have let's say regulatory mail at home. You don't want that. Let's say, or if you are served court papers, you don't want to get that at home. Okay, so it's better to have a registered agent. And make sure you have your business address and phone. It doesn't matter if you're working from home. Make sure in records that you have a business address that is separate from your home address. Okay. For example, you can get a virtual mailbox. Okay. This is really good. And also, when we talk about having establishing legitimacy, try to get business credit cards if you can. Again, you want to start at the bank where you are currently at. Don't go anywhere. You want to stay where they already know you. The second thing I want you to do here, if you are trying to establish credit real fast for your new LLC, you want to register with Dun & Bradstreet. Okay, the thing is that if you're trying to increase your Paydex score or to establish a Paydex score, Paydex is actually issued or calculated by Dun & Bradstreet. Okay, so this is why you need to have your DUNS number. Very important. Now, there are a lot of ways you can do this, and don't let people confuse you. People say, well, you need to pay me this to actually, no. You don't have to pay anybody to actually get your DUNS number. It's very easy to do. We actually had a video about the whole thing, but I'm just going to summarize things for you here. So you can actually call, there's a number that you can call, and they will just walk you through the whole thing. It's 1-866 705-5711. 1-866-705-5711. Okay, so that number is actually available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that's actually Eastern. Okay, so this is really important, and so you can actually register with Dun & Bradstreet. It will take you about 5-10 minutes. Also, I want you to plan 5-10 minutes to get it done. So what will happen here is that once you're done with the conversation, the Dun & Bradstreet rep will assign a DUNS number to you. Okay, you'll need to provide a couple of information. Some information about your business, your new LLC. They'll ask you for your legal name. They'll ask for the headquarters name and address for your organization. That's what I was telling you earlier about your home address. So make sure that you have a virtual mailbox, a virtual mail office. You want to separate your privacy from your business affairs. Very important. They might ask you for a DBA, doing business as, or other name by which your organization, your LLC, is commonly known or recognized. They'll ask you for your physical address, city, state, and zip code. They might ask for a mailing address, okay, telephone number, contact name, and title. And they might ask for the number of employees at your physical location. So if you're a single member LLC, that's only you. If you're a multi-member LLC, you just have to mention the number of people that are in the organization. Okay, so it's very important. So the DUNS number is actually a unique 9-digit identification number provided by Dun & Bradstreet, and you're going to use this in your business transactions. If you are bidding on government contracts, they might ask you for your DUNS number, and so this is really, really important. So step number 1, establish legitimacy. Step number 2, you want to get your DUNS number. Step number 3, prove liquidity. Now let me explain. The thing is that you have a new LLC. That's number 1. So you are new, okay? And you have bad credit. So that's another negative, quote unquote negative, on your file. So what you want to do here is that you want to prove to a credit card issuer, to a lender, or to a net 30 vendor that you do have the established liquidity. You kind of have some cash. And you need to make sure that you have some liquidity at the personal level. In other words, if you have bad credit, you have a new LLC, and you are broke, your chances of building business credit are very slim, if not nil. You got to have something. You got to bring something to the table. You got to have some skin in the game, boss. Okay, so establish some liquidity. So when we talk about liquidity, it takes various forms. Cash is number 1 thing when you talk about liquidity. It's very important, but you also want to talk to the lender or to the net 30 vendor that you have positive net worth. In other words, some people can be cash strapped, but they can have positive net worth, because net worth is basically total assets minus total liabilities. And some people have assets that are actually hardly monetized. In other words, they're difficult to monetize. For example, if you have real estate, you can't just sell real estate one day and just get the cash. It takes some time, right? So you want to talk about positive net worth. You want to seed the new LLC properly. You want to put some initial cash flows, okay? Basically, this is actually the money you put into the LLC will go into something called owner's equity. So this is the initial capital, okay? This is very important. So make sure the initial seed money is aligned with the business's needs. In other words, the money is going to be used for things that will actually grow your new LLC. And you want to open a business account and personal account at the same bank. That's what I said earlier. You want to start where they already know your ass. Don't you go anywhere. It's very important to stay where they know you, and you can actually parlay the existing relationship that you have with them, with the bank at the personal level. You can parlay that goodie, that positive effect into the business relationship. Money, 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 money. Boss, how much do you have? Do you have some liquidity? Do you have some cash? Do you have some dough? Do you have some kaching? Talk to me about your liquidity situation. You gotta have something. You gotta have something. Now, the next thing I want you to do here is you want to actually create a file with all the 3 major business credit bureaus. If you're trying to build credit for your new LLC with bad credit, and you are trying to increase your Paydex score over time or right away, you want to create a file. And the thing here is that I want you right now to go to Dun & Bradstreet. See, having a DUNS number has nothing to do with creating a file with Dun & Bradstreet, for example, because the DUNS process is totally separate from what I'm talking to you right now. What I want you to do is to go to dunandbradstreet.com, dnb.com, go to their business credit section, and you want to click on create an account. What's going to happen here is that you are going to start feeding them information so that if you get, let's say you get a business credit card or you get a net 30 vendor, that net 30 vendor can report to Dun & Bradstreet, but Dun & Bradstreet already has the foundational info about your business. Okay, Because what's going to happen here is that as soon as you start getting business credit, your creditors, if you ask them, because not all of them actually report to business credit bureaus, but you got to ask them. If they do report, they will see that you already have a file. This is very important. You do the same thing for Equifax. I want you to go to Equifax Business, and you have to create an account. Sometimes, and you do the same thing for Experian. Now, sometimes you might have to give them a call. Okay, so don't you worry if you are trying to do things online and somehow the system and taking your name or your company's name or whatnot. Just pick up the phone and call Dun & Bradstreet, call Equifax. They do have, if you go to their website, they all have dedicated phone lines for business credit. And just tell the rep, hey, listen, I would love to create a file, a business file, and for my LLC. Could you please help me do that? It's very, very easy to do. Okay. So what's going to happen here is that once you actually create your account, once you create your file with the three majors, they will assign you an initial business credit score. Okay. And because the thing here is that you probably have a business already. You have an address. You have a DUNS number. So they can start linking data to your business. This is really, really important. And don't you just do it for Dun & Bradstreet. You want to do for the other two also, because Experian, some vendors, some credit card issuers only report to Experian Business. Some only report to Equifax Business. What I want you to do next is I want you to really find net 30 vendors whose products and services you need in your business, in your LLC. You know, the thing is, when we talk about net 30 vendors, a lot of new LLCs, they think, you know, I can just apply for any net 30 vendor because I just need the credit anyway. No. Why would you actually sign up for a company whose the products of which you don't need? So it's really important to actually zero in on those companies that actually sell whatever you need. I mean, if you take the biggies in that space, for instance, Grainger, Uline, Home Depot, Home Office, they do share. They do sell stuff that all LLCs and all companies, for that matter, need. I mean, office supplies. If you have a company, you are going to need office supplies. Okay, I mean, you're going to need some basic supplies. Now, the thing here is that if you are going to if you are trying to go granular, in other words, you are in a niche market or you are looking for niche products, make sure that you do some research. Now, the research might be a little more involved. In other words, you might need to do more than Googling the company. Especially the more niche down your sector is, you will need to do some research. You might have to call the Chamber of Commerce in the city or town or county where you are at. Okay, but you might have to contact the company directly instead of applying online. See, if you take biggies like Uline, Grainger, you can actually apply for a Net 30 account online. But this is not the case for all players, all companies. Some companies you might need to give them a call personally. But you know what? It's totally fine, because when you call them up, you have a chance to actually get a higher credit limit, and you have a chance to speak to maybe a salesperson, because salespeople, they just want to sell. They're not interested in credit risk management. So if you get a chance to speak to someone in sales and they approve you for an initial limit that is high, this is really great for you. So for all intents and purposes, please pick up the phone and just start making calls and see whoever actually offers Net 30 accounts in your area. You always want to start with local vendors first, and then you can go online and yeah. Now, the next thing I want you to do here, I want you to really ask your bank about business finance. The thing here is you are trying to build business credit, okay? Yes. Now, instead of looking for, let's say, alternative lenders, such as, let's say you have SmartBiz, you have Lendio, which is a loan marketplace. You have other players out there. You have Bluevine, you have Fundbox, you have Cabbage, so there are a lot of players out there in the alternative space. And you might be tempted to actually build credit through those. You might be tempted to actually get an EIN only business credit card from DV, for example, from Brex, because those are known to help you out and help build credit. But sometimes you might actually just start with the bank where they currently know you and just start there and get a business loan or get a business line of credit. See, if you start at a bank that already knows you, even if you have bad credit, your chances of being approved are high because they know you. See, that's the element, that's the effect of knowledge, of familiarity. And this is what I really want you to focus on here. Okay, so this is why you want to start at a bank where they already know you. So when you go to the bank, you can ask for business loans, business lines of credit. The bank can also give you collateralized financing, for example, equipment financing. And this can be EIN only or without EIN. Either way, they will report your transactional data to the credit bureau so that you can build credit. Okay, and you can also try alternative lenders. Now, the lenders that I just spoke to you earlier about, like LendU, Fundbox, those are kind of cool too, and their approval amounts tend to be larger, and they tend to approve you no matter what, under certain circumstances, of course. But the problem with them is that, let me give you an example. LendU is a marketplace. LendU is really great. We have used them several times. They are fantastic, but some of their lenders are just crazy. They are crazy. So you want to make sure the lender actually reports your data to the credit bureaus. It's not just about, hey, listen, you will just give me the funds and I'll just repay you. No, make sure that you benefit from your good credit habit. And this is just fair for you to actually, get credit, get business credit for whatever good behavior you have. So this is really, really important. The last thing I want you to do here is, if you are trying to build business credit with for your new LLC with bad credit, I want you to try credit cards. See, I want you to do the same thing that you did for loans. Okay, you want to start with your bank. You always want to start with the bank. And again, I've said this on this show and on other shows. When we talk about establishing a relationship with the bank, you always want to go to the branch, especially when you need them. If you don't need them, okay, that's fine. But if you need them for a credit card or a loan, you need to go to the branch and have a conversation there. Okay, now do your bank first. Now, if the bank doesn't work, you can try EIN only business credit cards, and we have actually covered all those credit cards on other shows. So when we talk about EIN only business credit cards, you have DV, you have Brex, you have Ramp. Okay, the interesting thing about this EIN only business credit cards is that you have no personal guarantee, which is really great because nobody wants to have problems if their business fails. But what's really good, what's really important is going back to the liquidity situation I spoke about. You need to have money, because the thing is that DV or Brex, they want to make sure that you have enough liquidity to repay whatever you charge on the card. And those cards, by the way, those cards are charge cards. Okay, they're not credit cards. They are charge cards. So the EIN only business credit cards, they are more charge cards. But the whole thing here is that they can actually help you out. So credit card. Boss, are you currently in the market for a business credit card? In other words, have you actually sorted your new LLC already so that you are in a position where you want to get a business credit card? And that's number one. Number two, if you want a business credit card, do you want an EIN only business credit card, or you want a regular business credit card with a personal guarantee, with your personal guarantee? So this is the kind of a calculus I want you to think about, so that you are clear about the consequences of your actions. And it's really important to know also that a business credit card such as DV or Brex, not only do they protect you for the EIN, but you also get rewards. You get rewards. You get rewards from using the card to buy stuff. Okay, so this is really good. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just speaking to you about how to build business credit for your new LLC with bad credit, establish legitimacy, get your DUNS number, think about liquidity, think about the majors, think about net 30 vendors, your bank, and credit cards. Thank you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.